morning. Good morning, good morning. This is Winnie Chitaka, encouraging or empowering Ugandan women. This Friday, the 3rd of November 2017, for the Uganda Youth Collective. Welcome to yet another audio this morning. Today is Friday, and so for many, it's a day off, depending on what country you're in. For many, it's the beginning of the weekend. So welcome to this Friday, and thank you so much if you have been here the entire week and you have been listening to all our audio since the week began. I hope you've picked up something, you've learned something, and there's been a change since you started listening to us. Massive thank you to everybody that has joined our WhatsApp group, Empowering Ugandan Women. And a massive thank you to all of you that have subscribed to our YouTube channel and have joined us on our various social media handles on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook. Today's action or today's focus is going to be this. This is our title this Friday morning. The time for action is now. Our focus this morning is the time for action is now. Many times I meet so many people that are absolutely intelligent. They know everything. They have seen everything. They have studied everything. They have talked to everything. They have talked to everyone. They follow everyone. They know what's happening on any given day of the week. And surely you would assume such a person is one whose life is full of success and one whose life is moving surely in the right direction. But sometimes you're surprised to find that actually they still are complaining and things are not going as they wish for them to go. So what's the answer? Today's topic is the answer to why you're yet to see the things that you're thinking and dreaming of, and maybe you're stuck in a state where you're just wishing and you're procrastinating and you keep saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. Today's topic is this. The time for action is now. Let me begin off by saying this. Stop worrying if you're good enough, ready enough, or getting everything perfect in order to start. Look beyond yourself and realize you're taking action can help others. I'm going to say that again. Look beyond yourself and realize that you're taking action can help others, your family, your team, your nation, your community. The way you get out of your head, is to get in motion serving other people. The way you get out of your head those dreams and that information you have acquired is for you to get into motion and to start to take action. So this morning I want to encourage you. This morning I want to remind you. This week we have covered a number of topics. This week we have discussed a number of things. Many of you have notebooks and you've been taking notes. Well done. But this Friday, before we finish the week and we go into the weekend, I want to encourage you that the things you have learned, now is the time for you to take action, to begin to put them in practice. Now, the simple question is this, Winnie, how do we take action? Very good question. This is what I have learned. Number one, how do I take action? You ask yourself the question, what exactly have you learned? Let's start with this week. What have you learned since the week began? Since you started listening to these audio messages, since you started following the group, what have you learned? What is it you've learned? Create a small list or big list of the things you've learned. And from the things you have learned, number two, create a daily routine. Have you ever met people that wake up and don't seem to know what they're going to do that day? Have you ever been somebody that says whatever will be, will be? It depends on the weather. It depends on who's here. I'll make up my mind what I'm going to do tomorrow. Have you met somebody like that? Is that you? Number 2, I'm going to encourage you. Create a daily routine. For example, myself, since we started doing this, my daily routine has changed. Because prior to the WhatsApp group, I was not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get ready for the day and to prepare and to record this audio. But since the group has begun, my daily routine has changed. And because my daily routine has changed, it has dictated what time I go to bed in order for me to wake up early enough to be able to make this recording. So in the same way, when I talk about taking action, number 2, I want you to sit down and create a realistic daily routine for you. You know what work you need to do if you're at work. But in addition to you working towards your dream, working towards the purpose for your life, what does your daily routine need to look like? What do you need to do? Now that you've learned the things you've picked up, how does your daily routine need to change? Do you need to wake up a little bit earlier? Do you need to go to bed a little bit earlier? Do you need to unsubscribe from some people? Unsubscribe from some friendships? Do you need to subscribe to some people? Do you need to subscribe to some other channels? Daily routine. What does your daily routine look like? Set a daily routine. Because it's the small things that you do consistently, the small things you do again and again, that are going to bring you closer to your destiny, bring you closer to the fulfillment of your purpose or your goals or objectives, rather than waiting to do one big thing. It's the small things. For example, if you want to try and lose weight, it's the small things that you're going to be doing, the small adjustments that you're doing on a daily basis that are going to help you to achieve your goals. So number 2, your daily routine. What is your daily routine? Number 3. Sounds similar to number 2, but it's this. Create a realistic to-do list. Every day from now on, before you go to sleep, do not go to sleep without knowing what it is you must achieve the following day. Create a realistic to-do list. There's no point in creating a list of things to do that has 20 things in it, when in reality, based on how much work you have, you know it's not going to get done. Because what will happen when you create a list that is unrealistic, every day when it comes to the end of the day, to check and see what you have achieved on that list, if it's unrealistic, you're going to become demotivated. You're going to look at that list and you will find that throughout the week, your daily list, you've barely done anything because it was unrealistic. But when I say create a realistic to-do list, even if on your list you only have one thing on that list, but plan that the day before, the night before, not on the actual day. So the night before you go to bed, write it on a piece of paper. Don't put it in your head. Write it, get yourself a book. Some of you already have a book. This is like an online course that we're doing. You have a book. Write down the date and write down that tomorrow, this is what I need to do. Every single day, you must have at least one thing to do. At least minimum one thing. And don't go to bed until you've put down that one thing that you need to do. Create a realistic to-do list. And number 4, do what's on your list. Very simple, huh? Number 3 was create a realistic to-do list. Now, number 4 is this: do what is on the list. There's no point in creating a list if you have no intention of doing what's on the list. But the reason for empowering you or empowering Ugandan women and to our brothers who are listening and watching is to get you outside of your comfort zone, is to help you move from point A to point B, is to help you that by the time we speak this time next year, you would have seen a change and a difference. Is to help you to shift in your thinking, your attitude, your outlook on life. But the only way this is going to happen is if you start to take action and to put in practice the things you have learned up until now. And the best way to do it, when you create that list, do what's on that list. This is why I say create a realistic to-do list. So today, Friday, what are you doing today? What have you set down? What are your goals today? What have you planned to do today? Do it. That's what we're going to focus on today. So let me repeat. Today's recording is real brief because yesterday we had a very long recording. But today's recording is simply this: the time for action is now. Everything you have learned this week, take note. Have a moment and think about, what have I learned this week? Start with this week. That could be either via the audios we have been recording every day, and also the passage of reading that we set every day. What have you learned this week? Number 2, what is your daily routine? Based on the things you've learned, what have you adjusted? Is your daily routine waking up a little bit earlier? Is your daily routine unsubscribing from some things that have not been taking you anywhere? What is your daily routine? Make sure you have a daily routine. Number 3, create a realistic to-do list. Make sure it's a list that you will actually do. Don't have too many things, but yet do nothing. You'd rather have one thing on your list, but one that you are able to do. And number 4, do what is on your list. That's all you've got to do today. We're going to keep it simple today. And I'm going to welcome you to come back tomorrow, because tomorrow is our relationship Saturday. So I'm going to encourage you today, those of you who are in the group, to go ahead and send me your questions. Send the questions that you want to cover and to discuss in Relationship Saturday. If you're new to the group and you're wondering what is Relationship Saturday, Relationship Saturday is where we focus on issues concerning relationships. We talk about issues relating to, this could be relationship between your husband. This could be anything in accordance or in relation to relationships. So I want to encourage you to go ahead, send in your questions today. If there are questions you want to ask and they are private to you and you rather they remain anonymous, you go ahead and you send me those questions privately, either by email. Our email is empoweringUgandanwomen@gmail.com. That's empoweringUgandanwomen@gmail.com. Or you go ahead and you WhatsApp me privately. I also want to invite you, if you're listening to the audio for the first time and you want to join the Empowering Ugandan Women WhatsApp group, I will encourage you to go ahead and email me. That's using the same email, which is empoweringUgandanwomen@gmail.com. Or I will invite you to join us and follow us on Facebook at the Uganda Youth Collective, and there you can message me and we will be happy to add you to the WhatsApp group. This is open to anybody that is Ugandan and anyone, as long as you're female, regardless of what part of the world you live. We invite you to come and join us as we empower Ugandan women, as we empower the next generation, as we, today, Friday the 3rd November, take action in order to fulfill our dreams. Thank you so much for listening. This is Winnie Chitaka, empowering Ugandan women for the Uganda Youth Collective.